and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host, Shivangi Mishra. Let's begin with the headlines first. Ladakh sustainable transformation in renewable energy and conservation. Nepal's cosplay festival unites hundreds of fans in colourful celebration. And people of Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan protest against administration over ongoing power crisis. Let's begin the show. Ladakh in northern India is said to become a hub for renewable energy. Its high-altitude deserts offer abundant sunshine, making it ideal for solar power. The region is expected to generate surplus energy for transmission across the country. As development progresses, both locals and the administration are collaborating to reduce carbon footprints and promote environmental conservation. Ladakh, a breathtaking high-altitude region nestled in the western Himalayas, beautifully balances modern advancements with the preservation of its rich culture and pristine environment. As this mountainous area embraces progress, government-led green initiatives like the ban on polythene bags in the capital Leh are tackling environmental challenges effectively. Public engagement plays a crucial role in these efforts, fostering a sense of community and making a lasting impact on both the local population and the stunning landscape that surrounds them. Together, they are crafting a sustainable future while honoring the unique heritage of this extraordinary region.
ये वैसे गवर्नमेंट का बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट ऑर्डर है जी, यहाँ बहुत पेनल्टी वगैरह लगते हैं इस पे, तो लोग भी इसका बहुत भरपूर साथ दे रहे हैं, तो इसका मतलब हर किसी को फायदा है, एनवायरनमेंट वगैरह ये सब के लिए अभी बहुत फायदा है जी.
For years, Leh City has been dedicated to creating a sustainable environment by implementing projects like sewage treatment plants to manage waste and reduce pollution. In 2021, a sewage treatment plant with a capacity of 3 million litres per day was established, treating over 30% of the city's sewage daily and making it suitable for reuse.
एक तो यहाँ पे आप जो सामने आप देख रहे हैं उसमें लैंडस्केपिंग वगैरह और वाटर ये अंडरग्राउंड रिचार्जिंग पॉइंट वगैरह बनेंगे, उसमें ट्रीटेड वाटर जो है वहाँ पे यूटिलाइज होगा. दूसरा हमने टेंडर किया हुआ है, जल्दी उसको अलॉटमेंट भी होने वाले हैं. यहाँ से लिफ्ट होगा, लिफ्ट होकर पूरा टाउन की तरफ ले जाएंगे. जितने भी वहाँ ओपन स्पेसेस है, जैसे डिग्री कॉलेज हो गया या स्टेडियम हो गया, जितने भी गवर्नमेंट के जो ओपन स्पेस है वहाँ पे प्लांटेशन के लिए हम यूज़ करेंगे. और साथ में यहाँ से जो स्लज जो जनरेट होता है उसको फर्टिलाइजर के लिए हम सप्लाई करते हैं.
Similarly, solar energy is proving highly beneficial for residents of Ladakh as their gradual shift toward renewable sources help reduce unnecessary expenses. With abundant sunshine, Ladakh as a high-altitude desert has immense potential for harnessing solar power. This shift not only reduces dependence on external energy sources but also promotes energy security and sustainability.
जैसे हम हर साल हम कहते हैं कि कार्बन न्यूट्रल हम लद्दाख को हमने फ्री बनाना है, तो ये सबसे फ़ायदा ये हमारे इन्वायरमेंट के लिहाज से भी अगर देखा जाए तो ये बहुत ही फ़ायदा माने. तो इससे हमारा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का बिल भी बहुत ही कम हुआ, आधे से कम हुआ, जो हमें इस सोलर पावर प्लांट की वजह से हमें हमारा बिजली का फीस भी हमें बहुत इस पर कटौती हुआ. जी सर.
As Ladakh shift towards renewable and sustainable alternatives for a greener future, not only will residents benefit, but the tourism industry is also expected to receive a boost. The use of solar power will support service sectors and tourists, helping to meet their demands at lower costs. Dozens of cosplayers gathered for Nepal's annual Otaku Jatra, bringing anime characters to life with their iconic costumes and performances. This vibrant festival attracts thousands of pop culture fans, offering a unique opportunity to see beloved characters come alive. With enthusiasts from across Nepal, Otaku Jatra celebrates the fusion of anime and local culture, making it a must-attend event for fans of all ages.
Dozens of cosplayers attended the annual Nepali festival of Otaku Jatra, embracing pop culture by dressing up as various anime characters and performing their iconic moves and deeds. It is one of the occasions when enthusiasts and fans can see their favorite characters come to life. The annual cosplay fest of Otaku Jatra attracts thousands of attendees with pop culture enthusiasts from across Nepal coming together to celebrate. Although the festival has existed since the early 21st century, it started gaining significant impact and a vigorous presence only after 2016.
यसले धेरै हेल्प गर्छ अब डिफ्रेन्ट इभेन्टमा पार्टिसिपेट गर्यो भने अरू चाहिँ मान्छेहरूलाई जिज्ञासाहरू भइरहेको हुन्छ त्यही भएर उनीहरू आइरहेको हुन्छ यहाँ दिदी जस्तै हाम्रो दिदी आउनुभयो उहाँलाई केही थाहा छैन तर नै आउनुभयो इन्ट्रोड्युस हुनुभयो नि त जस यो उयसमा त्यही भएर धेरै हेल्प गरिरहेछ यसले इन्फ्लुएन्स गर्ने
Cosplay, a portmanteau of costume play, is an activity and performance art in which participants wear costumes and fashion accessories to represent fictional characters primarily from anime. People dressed as these characters often interact with each other to create a subculture and perform role-playing tasks in venues beyond the stage. Anime, cartoons, comic books, manga, TV series and video games are the main sources of inspiration for cosplays.
I would say that it's pretty fun actually. It makes me feel like as if I'm in a part of a whole anime community, and it has brought a lot of things together and I really like it.
Cosplay, originating from early 20th century fan costuming at sci-fi conventions, gained its name in Japan in the mid-20th century and has since fostered a global community. Anime, distinct from traditional cartoons by addressing real-life issues and human emotions, has captivated millennials and Generation Z with genres spanning romance, sci-fi and horror. The first TV anime, Astro Boy, marked anime's international rise, influencing young fans who now view it not just as entertainment but as a source of life lessons in friendship, resilience and teamwork. Cosplay events at conventions and online celebrate this inclusive and transformative culture.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch. Authorities race to evacuate residents reluctant to leave affected villages from the erupting Mount Levutobi-Laki-Laki volcano in Indonesia's Flores Timur. The 1,584-meter-high volcano has continued to spew volcanic material from its crater for a week since November 3, prompting authorities to expand the danger area and increasing the number of evacuees. However, facing a limited supply of vehicles, the authorities could only evacuate those who were willing to leave. Others, like 48-year-old villager Matthews Budi, would rather evacuate on his own. The Indonesian Volcanology Agency plans to expand to 9 kilometers from 8 kilometers the zone southwest to northwest of the crater that people are not allowed to enter, head of the agency said on November 9th. Japan's Self-Defense Forces (SDF) celebrated their 70th anniversary with a parade attended by the country's Prime Minister. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba inspected the troops gathered at Camp Asaka, an SDF base near Tokyo. The ceremony was also attended by Japan's Defense Minister Gen Nakatani. A former defense minister himself, Ishiba is often described as an otaku, someone with an obsessive passion. In his case, the obsessions include building models of ships and military aircraft, some of which he previously displayed on the bookshelves that lined his former parliamentary office in Tokyo. Thousands of supporters of Bangladesh's BNP, once the largest opposition party during former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's rule, rallied in the capital Dhaka last week, demanding Hasina's trial and the holding of general elections. Chanting slogans, BNP activists along with allied groups marched through the streets of Dhaka. Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal last month issued an arrest warrant for Hasina, citing her alleged involvement in mass killings during violent protests that erupted earlier this year.
The protest, which began as a student-led movement against public sector job quotas, escalated into some of the deadliest unrest since the country's independence in 1971, resulting in over 7,000 deaths and numerous injuries. The violence ultimately forced Hasina to flee to India on August 5, and an interim government led by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Muhammad Yunus took charge.
The people of Pakistan occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, especially in the Gojal subdivision of Hunza district, continue to face government neglect amid an ongoing power crisis. Despite repeated promises, there has been little improvement in the region's worsening electricity supply. In response, all major political parties have united to voice their concerns. Here's a report.
Frustration is boiling over in Gojal subdivision of Hunza as the relentless power crisis continues to grip the region. Despite countless complaints, authorities have remained indifferent, leaving the situation unchanged. The power shortages have ignited a wave of anger, leading all major political parties to unite in a rare show of solidarity. Together, they have vowed to take to the streets in protest, demanding immediate action to restore power and relieve the suffering of the people.
सब डिवीजन गोजाल में गैर एलानिया एहसाब शिकन लोड शेडिंग और इंतजामिया की पुरस्रार खामोशी यकीनन इंतहाई तशवीश और तकलीफ के साथ आपको बताया जा रहा है कि सब डिवीजन गोजाल बिल उमूम और गोजाल पाइन व बाला इस वक्त गैर एलानिया एहसाब शिकन लोड शेडिंग का शिकार है, जहां इलाके में मराहत याफ्ता गैर मकामी जो माफिया है उनको नवाजने के लिए पूरा इलाके को 24 घंटे में से महज 2 घंटे की बिजली दी जा रही है। और यही नहीं बल्कि हफ्ते हफ्ते मुरम्मत के नाम पर गुज़श्ता 3 महीनों से 2.5 महीने से इस इलाके के अवाम को बिजली से महरूम रखा जा रहा है।
The region is struggling with illegal load shedding, where electricity is diverted to unauthorized areas, leaving locals in the dark. Despite available power, residents remain without access. Meanwhile, an unfair billing system burdens the people, benefiting only the powerful. Frustrated traders and the public are demanding immediate action and warning of protests against the government's inept leadership and neglect.
हम बिजली के सताए हुए अवाम इस तरह के तर्ज-ए-अमल के बाइस अवाम को बिजली से महरूम रखने की शदीद तरीन अल्फाज में मजम्मत करते हैं और हमारा मुतालबा है, हम अहलियान गोजाल हुंजा पुरजोर मुतालबा करते हैं कि महकमा बरक़ियात जिला हुंजा सब डिवीजन गोजाल को बिलखुसूस और हुंजा को बिलउमूम गैर एलानिया और एहसाब शिकन लोड शेडिंग से फिलफौर नजात दिलाए। मराहत याफ्ता गैर मकामी माफिया के लिए खुसूसी ट्रांसफार्मर से स्पेशल लाइन के जरिए बिजली की बहाली को फिलफौर मुनक़ता करके वही बिजली आवाम को मुहैया किया जाए। तीसरा नुक्ता है, बिजली की अदम दस्तयाबी के बावजूद, बिजली यहां नहीं है, बिजली की अदम दस्तयाबी के बावजूद गैर मंतकी और गैर मुनसिफाना बिलात के इजरा और वसूली को भी फिलफौर बंद किया जाए।
In a joint resolution, all political parties have announced plans for a protest over the power crisis in Gojal subdivision. Protesters are also highlighting rising unemployment and inadequate compensation for land acquired by the government, with many feeling the lack of fair compensation has worsened their economic hardships.
हुंजा के तमाम जिले के नौजवान बेरोजगार नौजवानों को स्केल 9 से नीचे तमाम असामियां इनके हक है और इनको इसमें भर्ती किया जाए। साथ ही हम ये मुतालबा भी करते हैं कि क्योंकि बिजली से वास्ता है, 54 मेगावाट के जो हमारे जमीन मुतासरीन है, जिनकी जमीनें दरियाबुर्द है, सबमर्ज जमीनें हैं, वो आइनाबाद, शिशकट और गुलमित के मुतासरीन को मार्केट रेट की बुनियाद पर मुआवजा की अदायगी को भी यकीनी बनाया जाए।
As winter approaches in Pakistan-occupied Gilgit-Baltistan, life is set to become even more challenging. The cold weather, coupled with the ongoing power crisis, is expected to worsen the hardships faced by the local community.
India's restaurant scene is embracing a new trend, theme-based dining. From airplane and train-inspired eateries to cafes with enchanting fairy tale decor, these spaces offer more than just food. Guests enjoy immersive experiences where ambience, design and cuisine come together to create unforgettable moments. Take a look.
India's restaurant scene is a vibrant fusion of flavors and cultures, offering diverse culinary experiences from street food to upscale dining. Theme restaurants are gaining popularity across the country, blending food with creative storytelling. These unique spots immerse guests in imaginative settings where ambience, decor, and cuisine create memorable experiences. For example, airplane-themed restaurants recreate the in-flight dining atmosphere with cabin-like interiors and menus inspired by global flavors, blending travel nostalgia with culinary delight.
तो हमने देखा कि प्लेन में बहुत ज़्यादा बच्चे ऐसे कन्फर्म थे कि जिनको खाने वाने को कुछ नहीं है, और बच्चे ऐसे भी हैं, आज भी हैं, कि जो प्लेन में कवर नहीं कर पाते, कि जिनको टिकट महंगी लगती है या सफ़र महंगा लगता है। तो इसलिए हमारे और मेरे हस्बैंड ने बनाया कि हम एक थीम बनाते हैं, ऐसे जो प्लेन में सफ़र नहीं कर पाते, तो उनको हम सब इस चीज़ के लिए हमने कहा कि चलो यहाँ पे आएंगे, उनको खाना प्रॉपर देंगे, हम उनको थीम वगैरह बच्चे एंजॉय करेंगे, फ़ोटो सेल्फी भी लेंगे यहाँ पे। और पायलट एरिया वो आप ओरिजिनल में भी नहीं देख पाते, लेकिन हमने पायलट एरिया भी ऐसा रखा है कि आप फ़ोटो शूट वगैरह कर सकते हैं। पायलट वगैरह हम बता सकते हैं कि कहाँ कहाँ उड़ान लेता है, कैसे कैसे लेता है।
यहाँ पे पूरा आप देख रहे हैं कि एरोप्लेन का लुक दिया हुआ है, अंदर से भी पूरा एक्चुअल मतलब डमी। मैं इनसे ये वही डिस्कस कर रही थी कि पूरा लगेज काउंटर एंड फोकसिंग लाइट, पूरा AC काउंटर सब कुछ बनाया हुआ है, तो मतलब काफ़ी अच्छा लुक आ रहा है इसमें। अंदर से भी हमको यही फील आ रहा है कि एक एरोप्लेन में हम बैठे हुए हैं।
There's also a growing trend in India for restaurants inspired by train travel. One notable example is the Rail Cafe, which is housed in an old train coach, providing a unique dining experience with an immersive design. Many restaurants are recreating train and metro ambiences, featuring cozy sitting, luggage racks, and window views to make each meal memorable. Recently opened in Noida, the coach offers a modern metro experience for urban diners.
I googled it, so I came to know it's a good rating too. So we came here. I came with my kid. It's a nice experience. Looking wise, ambience, it's an amazing interior experience. As well as service front, it's all good.
Theme restaurants offer immersive dining experiences where ambience, decor, and menu come together to tell a story. Rubaru Cafe, known for its enchanting medieval fairy theme, has become a favorite for both locals and visitors. With soft lighting, comfortable sitting, and thoughtful decor, it's perfect for casual gatherings or solo retreats. The cafe also hosts events like open mic sessions, art exhibitions, and live music, making it a cultural hub.
At Rubaru, we really focus on the vibes of our restaurant and the food of our restaurant. We really believe that they should, when you go out, you carry a lot of memories back. So your memories should be really cherished, you should cherish your memory. Even you celebrate a birthday with us, you go for a date at our place, you should always remember it. So we really focus on our vibes, the architecture, everything.
मैं यहाँ पे बहुत बार आती हूँ और मेरे को यहाँ का एम्बियंस बहुत पसंद है एंड हाउ यहाँ पे एंजल्स वगैरह सब लगी हुई है जो बहुत अच्छा एक एस्थेटिक देता है प्लेस को। खाने में तो यहाँ पे सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा लगा मेरे को। यहाँ पे एक फ्लेमिंग मेन्यू मैंने ट्राई किया था which was amazing.
Theme restaurants go beyond food, immersing guests in unique settings and stories. Whether inspired by movies, fantasy worlds, or trains, each theme offers a memorable escape. These creative spaces blend ambience, design, and cuisine, creating lasting experiences.
Now it's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We'll be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.